Hey everybody, I hope everybody's doing great as usual. I wanted to do a quick video. I don't really know where to begin on this, but I figured let's start by putting some information out there. So I've been trying to, well, more and more recently, like I've been wanting to figure out like life in this universe, and what is out there, and it came up. Okay, so I was watching a video the other day. Some of you may have seen it where they reported it on like the major news channels too. But this retired Israeli space official or someone who was in charge of their like aerospace or something like that, really high up there in the military and government. Anyway, he's retired now. This is like 2 or 3 years ago. He mentioned that Trump was briefed about aliens and was told not to tell everybody so it wouldn't start a mass panic. I started talking to my guides, for example, about this. And there's a lot of people, too, that confirm this, simply confirm it, people that were in positions of power down here on Earth that I was able to get that confirmed from, too. So it's kind of amazing. But it makes sense. We've always wanted to know what's going on. But as the story unfolds, I found it like really fascinating. So what this Israeli guy said was there's this Galactic Federation of aliens and that are working together to understand, what's in the universe and what it is. And they haven't made themselves known to us really because here's a story behind that. So the reason they just don't show up is to not incite like a mass panic, first of all. So, and apparently like over the years too, just like we do with, if you think about it, like new species and stuff here on Earth, we carefully approach it, observe it, see how it reacts if they notice that sort of thing. There's been a lot of these incidents, I guess, since dawn of time where they would like fly around and come down here, observe us or try to, communicate with us to see what the reaction was. And a lot of this is captured in history too, with like hieroglyphs or ancient texts or ancient accounts. And of course, back then without technology, these sorts of things were viewed like from a spiritual perspective, like gods and things like that. So, but this sort of contact and everything was kind of limited, but it's really sped up as our technology has sped up. And this has happened long before even America was a country. This is really interesting. So, because I was watching interviews with like Obama and George Bush, for example, and they just flat out say, well, I can't say. So I can't say what I know about UFOs and that sort of thing. They're real, and at the highest levels of government all throughout planet Earth, all the major countries know about UFOs. Not just that, aliens, and are in constant communication with them as we accelerate our level of information, knowledge, and technology and start to explore outer space more and more. It becomes more relevant to them as well. But what's interesting is was speaking to my guides and some people too, like from America and other countries that were like recently, that have passed over. They confirmed too. This is known. Queen Elizabeth II knew, by the way. She knew too. So like the highest people in the highest levels of power are briefed on this sort of thing and simply do not share it with the public. There's a general agreement that it would just humanity's not ready for it yet. This Israeli guy, he talks about like underground bases on the moon, which everything he said was true, by the way. That was confirmed in this article I read. I checked with my guides back and forth to make sure I was hearing the right answer, and it's true. There's underground bases there, and meetings are held there. Life in the universe, it's teeming with life, and believe it or not, it's hard to not believe as far as what we are privy to. Even, within the civilian and military infrastructure, there's a need-to-know basis. So certain levels of technology are not made available to everybody, within like in certain institutions like NASA, for example, while exploring things are not given. The military has in the highest levels of government, have the top-notch technological equipment. And the information that is got from that is a need-to-know basis. It's like siloed, basically, from people who are giving there's misinformation, there's just lies or denial, that sort of thing, and then there's also different abilities of equipment that people are allowed to use, to make sure they can sort of contain what is discovered out there. So it's kept under wraps very well, and it's just denied what has been observed and known for quite some time, actually. So, and this is kind of accelerating more and more now we have like commercial, what's the word? Tourist space flight with like Elon Musk, and now not only the military is out there, but civilians are getting out there too. I'm sure it's very restricted and kept under watch by the government, but who knows, at a certain point, when space tourism is a thing, we'll start to see more and more things with our own two eyes when we're up there. So, but there is so much information and so much life in this universe, and we are just kept in the dark. To the degree that governments have been communicating with this Galactic Federation that this Israeli general speaks of is true, apparently. They've been around the longest time. And, okay, I'm back. Sorry, I had to step away for a second. So we're talking about, the level of information that we're privy to as well. So, all the governments know this. I was talking with my guides too about that. I found that interesting because for all our faults and the fact that we can't get along down here, we're all able to maintain this one massive secret from humanity so far. Of course, there have been a lot of people who leave Area 51 with evidence. There is, people like this Israeli guy who speak out. He said, I'm getting old. There's nothing they can really do to me. There's not much that they would do anyways. Depending on the government, they may silence people in different manners or just let them say what they want to. Of course, different governments have different ways of dealing with things. But overall, it seems to be maintained across the board. So I just found that so fascinating. And the thing is, too, that was confirmed for me, that's the general reason why it's not being shared yet, is because we are not ready yet here on Earth to understand what the universe is, literally. And the way this was explained to me, too, is because I didn't really understand what that meant. Because if you think about it, it's just the universe, it's a bunch of planets, and, you just got to observe it and figure it out, and kind of like we're doing down here. But that's meant in a very holistic, complete, kind of like grand manner of speaking, meaning not only the universe, but like literally the afterlife. I've discussed this in some of my other videos too, not theorizing, but sharing the information I got. Outer space is where the afterlife exists. It's just such a shame that, like, with all the different brilliant people on Earth that we've had over time, we can't just come together and start pooling our resources and trying to figure out to study collectively and even try to prove and reach and communicate with the afterlife. Because if you think about it, that's the one thing that really keeps us so fractured on Earth. So we don't know what happens when we die. So we have countries and religions and ideologies and everything built around how we think it works and how we should live amongst one another as well. And that just kind of defines our short time here on Earth, this lack of understanding. So, and that's exactly what they're talking about, is the universe. Because remember, the afterlife exists in outer space. It's very real, and that's space is eternal. And that's what they're talking about, this whole fabric of existence. Like our ability, we don't understand that yet. We need to reach a certain level of understanding before they open up more and give us more information and make themselves more known to Earth. So it's really a certain level of both mental and emotional intelligence in general that they're waiting for us to reach, as far as not just understanding the universe, but eternity, really, like both the physical and non-physical portions of it, life, existence, where does this come from, what happens to us after we die, and that sort of thing. So we're clearly not there yet. But that is where I left off the conversation, and I wanted to share that so far and what I have. Okay, so that's all I wanted to share for the moment. And I want more details. And so I'll continue to share more details too as I try to put this all together. But I wanted to get started, at least for now. So, and I know there's a ton of information out there on this sort of thing, and I've read a lot in the past too about this sort of thing. But to kind of sift through it all and be able to, piece together the truth is pretty exciting. So I wanted to share that. And of course, this information is freely given to, because I was wondering the same thing, like, why is it made available to me that it's okay, not to people on here? It's because it's two different things, basically. If I'm explaining this, then it is far different than someone if we're saying it with direct knowledge and proof, physical files and that sort of thing. So really it's just me passing on information, and that's really not going to cause mass hysteria, but it's the truth nonetheless. And I thought it was great stuff to share. So any ideas, any thoughts that you have, definitely you could feel free to leave them in the comment section. Thumbs up if you like the video. I'll keep working on this and other ones as well. And really appreciate you watching this. So thank you, and hope everyone's having a great holiday season too. So, all right, well, thank you, and please take care, and we'll see you in the next video.